Hello, everyone. Today's guest is someone whose story is honestly unbelievable. From being expelled from high school for drug use and losing a promising hockey career to becoming an Ironman athlete who's completed over 100 races, Todd Crandell has completely turned his life around. He's the founder of Racing for Recovery. He's an author, a counselor, and someone who proves that with the right mindset, you can rebuild your life no matter how far you've fallen. Todd, it's an honor to have you here. Thanks for taking the time and welcome to the show.
This is awesome. We have so much in common. It's unbelievable. It's great. I'm honored to be here, buddy.
Creating the athletic school has been a long journey. Reaching 100 episodes has taken consistency, grit, and a lot of passion. Having incredible guests share their story has been a true pleasure. But now, I want to ask you for your help. If you haven't already, please follow the show on whatever platform you're listening from. It really helps me a lot. And I promise you this, I'll continue to bring on the best guest speakers I can, and I'll do my very best to share content that helps you grow, not just as an athlete, but as a person on and off the field. I'll study, I will read, and research relentlessly for ways to help you. And I'll share everything I learned right here. Yeah, I mean, like we were talking off the record a little bit, but just so people would understand, we
Yeah.
went to the same school. I went on Google, typed the name of the school, Lord's University on Google. Your name came up, and then when I started reading about it, I'm like, this is insane. Like, this is not a regular Lord's alumni. I have to talk to him, and I'm so glad you were able to find the time. We were able to connect. So thanks for joining me. And let's go back to where everything started. You have a career with a lot of history, a lot of experience. Let's go back to high school. Tell us about that addiction. How did it start? What made you turn around and like, okay, let me turn my life around? How was that drug addiction? How was your high school and that promising hot career that you had?
Uh, well, I'll start by saying this. You think of Sylvania, Ohio, where Lord's University is. It's not a big place, and for you to come from Brazil, which I did Ironman Brazil, years later, but this is meant to be. And even with respect to my high school, I went to Northview High School, which is right down the street from Lord's University. You know
Mhm.
that, right?
Yeah.
So that just makes this story so more bizarre of how we got connected. So briefly, here's how this whole thing happened. And I've told this story so many times, but it's still just as relevant today as it's been since the first time I told it. My real mom committed suicide from her drug and alcohol addiction when I was 3.5 years old. She grew up in Sylvania, Ohio as well. So did my dad. Her brother also killed himself from drugs and alcohol, and my aunt killed herself from a food addiction. So, out of 4 kids in one family, 3 of them killed themselves because of self destructive behaviors. And the surviving aunt battled food issues, very smart. She has a PhD, but I unfortunately have lost contact with her. So, as a young kid, and even the clients that I serve as a clinician and my work at Racing for Recovery, I'd say 95% of people who are self destructing or battling mental health issues are doing some for some traumatic thing that happened that they haven't got proper help to sort out. So we'll get to that later. But I was a kid that grew up in Sylvania, Ohio. You know the community, it's nice, good schools, everything's cool. I had good friends, but I didn't have myself. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin and found playing hockey as like my saving grace, and just thought I was going to be a pro hockey player. That was my life. I worked very hard at it, had some God given ability. But at the age of 13, I took my first sip of alcohol, and that was it. For the next 13 years, cocaine, heroin, crack, homelessness, jails, the whole bit. You mentioned Northview High School. I was expelled for doing cocaine on a hockey bus going to one of our games. Righteously so, should have been expelled. And that just was at 18 years old. I went on and just the addiction got worse and worse until At the age of 26, I received my third drunk driving charge, again in my hometown of Sylvania, Ohio. And that's when I stopped it. And ever since that day, I've been rebuilding my life. And here we are today. That's a quick synopsis of 58 years of living, buddy.
Hmm. For sure. But what made you decide to stop? This episode is sponsored by CaliforniaAvocadosDirect.com, delivering rich, creamy, hand-picked avocados straight from a family farm in Escondido, California, to your door. No middleman, no mass storage, just farm fresh quality you can taste and trust. Packed with healthy fats, potassium, and fiber, it's the kind of real fuel high performance need, whether you're grinding on the field or recovering from it. Use the code The Athletic School for 10% off of your first box at CaliforniaAvocadosDirect.com.
This gets into the spiritual side of life. I believe in God, and I believe on that day of April 15th of 1993, getting arrested was a gift from God. It was also a gift from my mom, and it was a wake-up call for me. And I just said, I'm done. I want something better out of my life than I have been doing for the past 13 years with drugs and alcohol. I want something better. And I quit. Cold turkey, no rehab, no detox. I just stopped. And I wanted help and understanding of why I was the way I was. And then I wanted to go out and kick ass in life. And that's, I guess, exactly what I've been doing for almost 33 years. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Not only the alcohol, not only the drugs, but also the family crisis that you had. Um, and it's crazy you say that because I lost my mom not too long ago when I was here. I wasn't able to go back. I was very close to her. Um, and and I've seen stories like that where people
Yeah.
choose to go to the wrong route in a way for many different reasons, right? Sometimes, like you said, they just don't have the background and the knowledge in a way to make the right choices. Thank God, I don't have any regrets when it comes to my mom because I know that we did everything we could. I also believe in God, and I also think that you know at the end, love will connect us no matter where we are, and that's
Yeah.
all it matters. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and and I just hope that people listening to you, because they listening to you, they can find something else in their lives, because sometimes we go to practice and then we have a bad day and we think it's the end of it, right? But then
No.
when we look at
Yeah.
stories like yours, and sometimes worse than yours, sometimes not even as bad, it's not the end of the world. There's always a choice for us to do and for us to take it. And I mean, and you can believe in God, in the universe, whatever it is. Those things will get you there. But
Well, I can. Sorry, I want to say this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your mom. I know what I have empathy for you with that. I believe that I don't want to freak anybody out, but my mom taking her own life turned out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It's just when we can take our issues or our traumas or our circumstances and utilize them for the betterment of self and others. That's what we're supposed to do here. So her loss is not a tragedy. It's been a gift to thousands of people around the world who have learned about racing for recovery, and that's okay. It just took me a long time to get there. That's all. Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree 100%. I couldn't agree more. I mean, of course, it's very recent that my mom passed away, but I don't think I think she taught me a lot of the things that I know and the person that I am nowadays. But I also look at life in a different way because of that. Because she was right here, and I told her I loved her, and 3 hours later, she wasn't here anymore. Um,
Wow.
but anyway, let's move on to
Yeah.
some other crazy things that you've done. So in 1999, and it's crazy because I was just getting born and you were just starting with this amazing career you have. You decided to do your first Ironman. You weren't even prepared
No.
from what I heard.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to do something like that? Why did you decide to do something like that?
Because of the magnitude of what the Iron Man is. I saw that. I used to watch the Iron Man back when I was doing drugs. I watched it on television when it was from Hawaii, where it originated. And I've been thankful to race in Hawaii 10 times now over the years. So I saw that extraordinary event and I'm like, I want to do that someday. I remember saying that, and a friend of mine sitting next to me was like, "What? Look at you right now. You can't do that." But the seed was planted. So 6 years into my sobriety, after I kind of picked up hockey and made it to a semi-pro level for a little while, I'm like, "Hey, I want to do that Ironman thing." So I just registered for the Ironman. I didn't own a bike. I hated to run, and I didn't know how to swim. But I signed up for 3 Ironmans and just said, well, this is what I'm going to do. And I've kind of had that personality my entire life.
Hmm.
But I did my first Ironman November 6th. Holy cow, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow will be November 6th. So
Yes.
night 26 years ago, that, holy cow, I didn't even think of that. But November 6th, 1999, did my first Ironman, and I've done 128 of them to date and raced on 6 continents, probably 25 different countries, and met amazing people, and then started racing for recovery in 2001 to kind of give back and do something with it. And here we are.
Um, I mean, I did one half Ironman, and a lot of thoughts ran through my mind while I was in the, especially on the run portion of it, because that's the last one, and you just are way tired. You've done more than 100. What are some of the thoughts that comes to your mind, and how do you deal with them? Because a half Ironman might be hard, but you've done multiple halves and full Ironmans, and you put your body into an extreme. What are some of the thoughts that you have, and how do you deal with them?
What race did you do? What Ironman did you do?
I did one in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, I've done the full and the half there, so we'll use Louisville. By the way, not good water to swim in, but anyway, to
Yeah.
me they are an example of what life is. I think the Ironman day encompasses every emotion, probably almost every thought that any human being is going to have over the course of their lifetime. You wake up, you don't sleep the night before, you wake up full of anxiety. You know, everybody is in the same headset of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. You have the courage to start, you get going, you realize, okay, I'm doing this, and then you may get kicked in the head or the swim or whatever. And these are all metaphors of life. You find a way to keep going, and you finish the swim, and then you get on the bike, and it's fun at first, and then you hit a first hill, and it's like, this is terrible. Why am I doing this thing? My legs hurt. And I love the challenge mentally. It's not so much the physical challenge. I love the mental challenge of, I even know what I'm getting myself into, and I keep doing it again because I love testing myself. Because I know, as you well know now, that 30-second rush of running down that finish line is euphoric. And then the after effect of what you get to experience and feel from all the work you did is worth it. And that same mentality is applicable to graduating from Lord's University, for sustaining sobriety, for being vegan and not killing ourselves with food anymore. And hopefully we'll talk about that. But it's just a life metaphor of what's possible. And do you have the courage to get up and face the challenges so you can reap the benefits of it? And that's what keeps drawing me to it. It's great.
Um, you mentioned that you like that mental challenge.
Yeah.
And honestly, we all know that if we stay comfortable all the time, we probably won't ever grow. And I'm sure you face that at your day-to-day job when you're trying to help people recover. what would you tell someone that it's comfortable, it's used to being comfortable, they have to get out of the comfort zone, but for some reason they kept finding reasons or excuses or whatever we want to call. What would you tell
Uses.
them?
That's a great question. I want to go back, and when you asked about doing Ironman, I was racing in Toronto years ago, and I was in the newspaper up there, and there was a guy that came up to me before the race, and he said, "Hey, I read your story. We're talking." And I said, I'm tired today. I don't feel like doing this. And I'll never forget this. He said to me, "You're doing it for the person that died from drugs last night and for the one that won't make it today." And I was like, wow. So that really put a humbling, because I live my life on empathy, humility, and gratitude, but that really humbled me and gave me gratitude again to realize the life I've been privileged to have. And it's my duty to go out there and do what I do. And I've also carried that over for the animals, as you know, that are getting murdered every day. I think of, we're killing billions of these animals. They have it really bad. I get the privilege of racing in Brazil. I'm okay. So I wanted to put that in there with your previous question. With respect to, doing them, it's like, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but when you're privileged enough to find your life's purpose and you're living in that life's purpose, it's not hard. I watch people get their lives together, which is great, and I also watch people, unfortunately, that die. And I can't think of any higher or lower emotion than life and death, right? But for me, it's just an opportunity to constantly be grateful for what I have, understand that I worked my butt off to get to where I am. And for people, if they choose not to do the work to achieve what they want, don't complain about the life that you have. And I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but I don't like when people sit around complaining, but they don't do anything to change it. If people are making the effort, as long as they keep making the effort, they'll eventually get what they're searching for. So that's a long-winded answer to that question, but it's like you got to do the work.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the book Man's Search for Meaning, but the main idea of the book, and it's Viktor Frankl, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken, and he was a survivor of the Holocaust.
Holocaust. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he talks about that you can survive anything in life. You
Mm-hmm.
can go through anything if you have a purpose.
Yes.
And it's the same thing you just said. Like, as long as you have a purpose and you know why you're doing the things that you're doing, you like, it's not hard. It's, of course it's hard, but it's very doable. It's not
Yes.
hard at all. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Well, and
I love that.
you think of, let's talk about the Holocaust for a minute. I mean, their purpose was just to survive, for God's sakes. And to do that and then write a book with the message of what he endured and thousands of other people, it's like that just puts things into perspective. Like doing an Ironman means nothing when you think of some of these real issues that we're having, but the metaphors and the mindsets are applicable. And that's my point, really.
Yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, in 2026, you became vegan. I want to ask
2000 wait a minute. You said 2026,
16. I'm sorry,
2016. Yeah, yeah. I was like, what?
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I added a different number there. Um, why did you go vegan? What made you become vegan? Tell me about it. And of course, I told you I'm biased, but I want to hear from you, from your perspective, why.
This was February 1st of 2016. I've always been a person who wants to live as healthy as I possibly can. And again, this is a gift that came from the universe or whoever we want to talk about, but I saw a clip of a cow that was in line to get murdered. I watched it and I saw him trying to get out after he figured out what was going to happen, because animals are not dumb, especially cows. I have a pig, so they're not dumb. And I watched that, and I said, I can't do it. It was almost like another sobriety date, and I stopped. I've been no meat, no cheese, no fish, no chickens. No, if it has parents or eyes, I don't do it. And if you're a true vegan, and I know we're going to irritate some people with this, but so what? That's on them. The true vegan mindset is, hey, I just don't want to do harm to animals because they don't deserve it. The benefits of that kind act for our bodies, for, again, the animals, and for our world, for our environment, are so extraordinary. It's like, why wouldn't we do this? I don't, and I'm going to be honest with you because you asked me this question. I don't care about somebody's tradition. I don't care about their family values, and I don't care about their opinions. They don't mean anything. Facts are facts. What we're doing to our bodies, that of course we can get a medication to try and fix it, it's terrible. It's all about money. We're destroying our world. By 2048, we're not going to have any more fish. Every second, 100 acres of the rainforest is being destroyed, and it is not coming back. These are facts. And that's why I choose to be vegan. That's why I choose to eat the right way. And it's definitely a reason why at 58 years of age, I can still do what I do with the Ironmans. And that's one thing that sometimes people don't understand. They look at me and they're like, oh my God, you're amazing because you do all these things. And I'm like, well, it's because of what I eat and what I don't eat. And they don't really get that message,
Yeah, and I think the other day I watched a presentation called the Food Matrix, and I also made a video on my Instagram. I think the other day was like World Vegan Day,
Yes.
and the thing for me, the biggest thing for me was the mindset when I went vegan, because
Yeah.
it was like I was stepping out of the matrix, right? Because we talk about, oh no, but dogs are pets. Oh, but this, oh, but that, but what about B12? What about protein? You know what I mean? And I mean, you are the living proof that it's not that none of that matters, but you are more than capable to be vegan and do all those things, but you're able to thrive being a vegan, and then not harming the animals that you say that they are cute, and you say you care for them, but you still with them, you still slaughter them, and you still, you're just sponsoring that.
Yeah.
But it's funny to me because when we talk about those things, people will turn it off the podcast when we're saying that. People will stop talking about it, they will stop listening, they walk away if it's a debate. But so it's not about if I like it, the taste or not. It's about facing who you truly are, and people are just not ready for that. And it's funny for me when those things happen. I'm curious to hear from you. Like, I'm sure that people come to you all the time and ask about how do you do it. Oh, but what do you do with protein and all those things? Like, what's your approach when people come to you and say, oh no, but this, oh, but that? What do you say to them?
Well, I wrote a book about all of this. It's called Do No Harm. It has a picture of my pet pig on the front. I should have one around here, but anyway. So one of the things, especially when the protein comes up, that question gets asked of us constantly, right? And I'll say, can you name me anybody you know that's protein deficient? And they sit and they think, and of course they can't, because nobody's protein deficient.
Yeah.
But we have people with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, all from eating that stuff. Plus it causes cancer. Here's another thing. Let's talk about this. Everybody that knows somebody who's been affected by breast cancer, right? Race for the Cure's biggest sponsor is a yogurt company for the tune of $30 million. Now, that product causes cancer. If a woman has one serving of dairy a day, she is 50% more likely to develop breast cancer. So our way of thinking is, I'm going to have a product, I'm going to pay this organization $30 million to promote breast cancer awareness and prevention, but my product is causing that. And then we're going to send them to a doctor who's going to give them medication or whatever and hope that the breast cancer goes away. It's all about money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
Not
I
to
mean,
mention, sorry, one more thing in that. What is the strongest animal out there? A gorilla, an ape. They eat plants.
mhm.
So go to the source. Animals are fed plants before we murder them to get our protein. It's like, come on, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's so many questions that you're
Yeah.
like, I can't believe you're still asking that. Like, did you
Yeah.
not look it up a little bit before you asked me that? But sure. Um, but I'm very passionate about this, and I don't want to get caught up too much on
Yep.
that. Because a lot of people are sensitive when it comes
Yeah.
to that topic. But the next question I have for you is, one of the main goals with athletic school is talk about the mindset and mental side of the game and sports and life in general. Is there anything specific that you do to prepare yourself mentally? All right. I know you're tired of hearing how sleep is important. You already get it. But here's the thing. If you want to take your recovery and performance to the next level, you have to make your room truly dark. Even small lights from your phone, street lamps, or alarm clocks can mess up your deep sleep. That's where mental sleep masks come in. I've been using them for a while now, and they actually work. Super comfortable, totally blocks light, and helps you wake up feeling ready to perform. Check the link in the show notes and get yours. Seriously, your sleep and your game will thank you.
I visualize what that finish line is going to look like and feel like, and how I'm going to be able to have that after race feeling. You've done one, so you don't yet know the complete the science behind some of the body stuff, or maybe you did from your first time. I certainly didn't. It took me a while, but I love the high, the endorphin high that lasts after the race. The gratitude for a body that still works, the gratitude for my support system, my work with Racing for Recovery. I just love that euphoric feeling. So the 30-minute rush through the finish line is great, but the after effect of, hey, I did it again. I'm in this beautiful country. I met some amazing people. I'm promoting Racing for Recovery on a television station or whatever. It's like, this is great. And it's not an addiction, because I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, you're just addicted to the Ironman. I'm like, no. I mean, I've been sober for almost 33 years, and I've done 128 Ironmans. I don't think something 128 times over 33 years would qualify as an addiction. It's a new focus that I get to enjoy. So the mental visualization of the day, what it's going to feel like to swim in the beautiful waters of Hawaii or whatever. Those are the things that I visualize, and that's the stuff that takes some of the physical agony away,
Mhm.
because it's going to hurt, as you know.
Yes, yes, I know. It's funny you say that because after, I think it was like the Wednesday after, and we were going down the stairs in a coffee shop, and then my wife was like recording me. I could barely go
Yeah.
downstairs, but so yeah, I know how it hurts.
Yeah.
Um, in your book, you talk a lot about the story we tell ourselves matter. What's a story you used to tell yourself
Mm.
that changed, and how did you rewrite that story?
I think you're talking about my latest book, Creating. Yeah, my thought used to be, you don't belong. You need to end up the way your mom did. Let's get this over with. There's no hope. It was that. Now I just I keep saying the word gratitude. I live in a world of gratitude, determination, motivation, giving, laughter, education, kindness, exuberance, success, laughter. I think I said maybe not, but I'll say it again. Just having a good time is the mindset now. So I've gone from hating myself to beginning to not hate myself and just embrace everything that I have. We don't get a second chance at life. I believe I've been given a gift to have a second chance at life, and by God, I'm going to live it to the best of my ability.
A lot of the athletes that are listening to us, they are college athletes, right?
Mm.
So Saturday night, Friday night, they might go to a party, and some of them drink here and there. They might vape, which is insane to me how they could vape and still hope to perform on Monday at training. But what are your thoughts on drinking when it's sociable, when it's other people drinking, or and I wouldn't even mention smoking, because I think we all know that that's way above what we're talking about here. But drinking is a little bit different, it's still more acceptable. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, every 30 seconds, someone is killed from drinking and driving. So drinking any alcohol, let's say what alcohol is, it's poison. So if you're an
Mhm.
athlete, why are you putting poison in your body and then expecting to perform the next morning at the highest level? Now, I'm not saying that people that drink alcohol are bad people. I'm just asking the question, why would you do that if you're trying to be a good athlete? They don't go hand in hand. They just don't. Now, I'll take it a step further and say, if you're going to choose to do that and not be your best, not only for yourself, but the team, let this guy over here who's not doing that, let him play.
Mhm.
And then it'll get into, well, I'm talented, or it's like, it doesn't matter. I'll say what it was. I was a very talented hockey player, but I was a disrespectful teammate because my drug addiction was ruining the team. And I can remember a couple times, it was a couple game. Actually, it was the last game that I played in before I was expelled. Going to that hockey game, I was doing cocaine on the bus in front of the teammates, and we won 10-0. And as a goalie, I think I stopped like 60 shots or something like that. And I remember one of my friend's moms came up to me after the game and she was like, Todd, oh my God, I've been watching you since you were a kid. You were amazing tonight. And it was so disappointing for me because I knew I was a lie. My life was an absolute facade. I was dying on the inside. I was suicidal. I'm high on cocaine, making a complete mockery of my coaches, my family, my community, my high school. I didn't deserve to be playing hockey. And it all started with having one sip of beer when I was in 8th grade. So that's what alcoholism did to me. So, long story short, especially if you're a college athlete, what are you doing, man? You should be having a vegan pizza, sitting with your girlfriend or whoever, watching a movie and going to bed,
Yes, yes,
right?
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I love that. So a lot of athletes, they are not vegan. They are not recovering from anything. What's one mindset shift that you had that you think they can have it? What's one thing that you can tell them about mindset, even though like they're not vegan, they're not recovering, they're not drinking or anything like that? What's one mindset shift that you had that they can apply?
I can feel the smirk on my face right now. If you think you feel good now with what you're doing, quit both of those things and then call us both in 2 months and let us know how you feel. Right? I mean, that's the best way I can describe it
Hmm.
because no alcohol tastes as good as sobriety feels, and no dead carcass is going to make you perform better than a plant ever. And if they don't believe me, that's fine. Watch the movie Game Changers, which I'm sure you remember when they do the blood tests on those athletes?
Yeah.
Now, how can somebody who's fairly intelligent see that movie and specifically that blood test and go, that stuff is garbage. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy.
Yeah. I follow, I can't remember his name. I follow someone that is like very medical on Instagram, and he looks at into those things, and then he shared something very interesting because he was like, people are not interested in the best piece of information. They're interested on whatever piece of information is going to confirm whatever they want to believe.
Absolutely.
It,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
It's
what you
sad.
tell them, what you show them. They're going to believe whatever they want to believe.
Well, let's use this though, because you're absolutely right, and it's sad. But let's use athletics. If you say to somebody, try this, learn this new technique, as athletes, we're like, no problem. We go out and do it. So all I'm asking, I don't care what all the evidence you think you know about, right? Go at least try this that we're talking about strictly for your athletic performance. Screw the environment. Who cares about the animals? If you want to be an athlete, a better athlete, just try this. Give it a month. They'll never go back.
Yeah.
Because once they see and feel what it's doing to them, all the other research doesn't matter. I don't need some research, good or bad, to convince me to keep being vegan or to go back being not vegan because I know how I feel. And that's what makes the difference.
I've seen you talk about empathy, humility, and gratitude. What those words means to you?
Everything. They are the three words that are the foundation of not only my sobriety, but my life's work with Racing for Recovery. They are a lifestyle to me. They are what I think the world really runs on. Even in Ironman, I've stopped. Where was I racing? Memphis, Ironman Memphis a couple years ago. Homeless guy sitting on the street and was asking people, hey, what are you guys doing today? He was just trying to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was approaching him, I heard him say to his girlfriend, God, no one will even talk to me. And it made me sad. And so I stopped during the run. I'm like, hey man, how you doing? This is an Ironman. This is what it is, And I said, what's going on? And he's drug user, whatever. And I said, there's a better life. I used to be like you. Here's our number. I'll talk to anybody anytime. So the empathy of those that are still suffering, whether they're animals, a human being, gratitude we've covered a million times, and humility, being humble enough to not think you're better than because, you've only done one Ironman and I've only done 128. It's being humble with what our gifts have been given. And those three words are really powerful to me. That's how I live my life.
Real quick before we get back. As a vegan and a hybrid athlete, what I eat matters. And when it comes to quality, I don't compromise. That's why I have partnered with CaliforniaAvocadosDirect.com. They deliver fresh, hand-picked avocados straight from their family farm to your door. No middleman, no guessing, just real fuel that supports how I train and recover. They even offer subscriptions so you're never running out. And my followers get an exclusive discount code which you can check on the show notes. And big thanks to California Avocados Direct for powering this episode and helping me stay fueled the right way. Now, let's get back into the show. When you look at the finish line of your life's race, what do you want to be remembered for?
That's a great question. I want to be remembered for a guy who made one choice to stop self-destructing and made constant daily choices to be a better human being and take that self-betterment and make Racing for Recovery the best thing it can be in service to other people so they can do the same thing that I've been doing. That's a long-winded message to put on my tombstone. But I want it basically to be a guy that remembered, like, wow, that guy gave everything he could so other people could have a chance.
Love that. Todd, the last thing that I have, it's a quick fire.
Yeah.
So I purposely did not send this to you because it has to be raw. It has to be right away.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. I know we might have a little bit of delay here, but it's just real quick. Take your time, but try to say this first thing that comes to mind.
One word. You want one word from me? Or
Some of them might need more than
okay.
one. So take whatever you want to say, whatever comes to mind.
Cool.
All right. With this one is easy, but morning person or night owl?
Morning.
I can see that through your stories on Instagram.
Yeah. 2:30 in the morning, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
in Toledo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Favorite pre-race meal?
Hash browns.
Hash browns. Oh, that's a good one. One word that best describes your mindset on race day.
Driven.
Driven. Hardest Ironman location you ever done?
Ooh. Lanzarote, Spain. Kona, Hawaii. Nice, France.
Fair enough. If you could train with any athlete in the world, who would you do? Who do we be?
Mark Allen.
Okay.
Did a podcast with him.
If you can connect me with him, that would be perfect.
He's a great guy, man. Yeah, go. It's on YouTube. Or look it up. It's great. Yeah,
I
he was
will,
at
definitely will.
the finish line waiting for me for my 90th Ironman and my 100th in Kona. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One song that always fires you up before a race.
Anything by Motley Crue or AC/DC.
Okay. Coffee or smoothie?
Never tasted coffee in my life, so smoothies.
Okay. What's one quote or phrase you live by?
With sobriety, anything is possible.
If you could give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't kill yourself and hang in there. Things are going to get better.
When you cross the finish line, what's the first feeling that hits you? Relief, pride, gratitude, or something else?
Relief, pride, or gratitude? All of them. And then where's the nearest Chipotle?
It's fine. I relate to that, definitely. Todd, thank you so much, man. That's all I got for you. It's like I said, it's a pleasure to have you. Crazy world. How destiny works. Some of the things that you're telling me is just giving me goosebumps because I could relate so much. Thanks for all you do. I really appreciate you taking the time, being flexible. And yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let's stay in touch, dude. We met for a reason. I'd love to do a race with you sometime. You know, I mean, yeah, we met.
100%.
We met for a reason, dude. That you cannot make it. And that's like my life. All these like coincidences. I'm like, well, there it is again. You know, it's crazy. I want to say to you, you're a great young man. I'm an old man, so I can call you a young man. I'm sorry about your mom. I'm thankful you're vegan. I'm thankful you have the mindset that you have and go out there and achieve anything you want in this world, brother, because you can.
I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Right on. Keep in touch, buddy.